The race is on in South Florida to make sure that other condo complexes are structurally sound. Experts there saying that the Surfside collapse could very well reshape Miami's real estate market. Let's bring in NBCNews.com reporter Phil McCausland. Phil, in your reporting, one real estate agent said, now you're going to see what we call condo terminations, where developers buy out old buildings, tear them down, and put up new ones. Can you talk to us about why that's happening?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. There's a few things going on, I think, that is worth noting. Condos across the state want to know that their building is safe, and so they're really putting those demands down for engineers to come in and check out their buildings. The issue is there's not enough engineers. So what that means is that those engineering reports are becoming more and more expensive. But the secondary issue is that once you even have that report in hand, then you're going to find out this is what's wrong with your building. And for some of these older buildings, some of these buildings that are 40 years old, 30 years old, you're looking at maybe 8 figures, 7 figures, and even shared across condo owners through assessments. You're looking at, I mean, tens of thousands of dollars, if not over 6 figures for some of these folks. So that's basically a second mortgage. I mean, and so what we're talking about is, especially for lower income owners, I mean, they're essentially being incentivized to potentially leave because they can't afford to stay. And when you're looking at a market where folks don't really want to buy a 40-year-old building anymore because of what happened in Surfside, that business opportunity is really there for developers to maybe plow down some of these older buildings and build something new that is going to cost a lot more money.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about who this is going to affect here, because you touched on this. But, you know, if you look at an older building like Champlain Tower South that collapsed in Surfside, there were lower income tenants. There were retirees there. As you've mentioned, these are some of the people who could be most affected here. I mean, the rich folks want to be in the brand new buildings on the water with the best views, right? So what are the concerns here for those older or lower income Floridians? If we take all these buildings down, what do they do?
Well, I think their options are going to be much more limited potentially here in the future. Yep. This is going to be probably a slow trickle, right? I mean, it takes a while to buy out all the owners from a condo building. Mm-hmm. But I mean, these properties where these 30, 40-year-old buildings were built, they got premium property right there on the shoreline. Even Champlain Towers property, I mean, is valued over $100 million. So, I mean, developers want that, right? And they want to build on that land. And I mean, is a retiree going to be able to buy a condo anymore? Is someone who's a lower income, an immigrant family coming into Miami? Probably not.
Yeah, I was going to say potentially not. And we know how attractive it is to retire in Florida. A whole lot of folks do that. Let's talk about the housing market in South Florida, particularly in Miami. I mean, Phil, it's been red hot. Condo sales hit records this spring. They were spiked more than 200% in April, according to Miami's Association of Realtors. What could this do to the real estate market? I know you said it might not be an immediate change, but this could really turn this real estate market on its head.
Yeah, I mean, talking to real estate agents in the area, talking to other people who participate in the market here, I think it's already becoming clear that the interest in buyers for these older buildings, the condos there, I mean, it's just really dwindling and beginning to drop off a little bit. And if they are buyers are interested, they're going to want you to have that engineering report in hand. Otherwise there's just really no interest. And so the buildings that are getting looked at and the condos that are getting looked at are the ones that are built that were built since the year 2000. And those are the buildings that are probably kept up a little bit more, have fewer safety concerns so far. But per square foot, I mean, that is really, really expensive and it's going to price out so many people. So again, those lower income families, those retirees, I mean, they just can't necessarily find a home anymore in Miami Beach.
And Phil, how about insurance? I mean, we know storms, disasters like a condo collapse like we saw, that's never good news when you're looking for an insurance premium.
No, I mean, and historically, it's pretty tough here in Florida to get insurance coverage, anyways. But this is only going to make things quite a bit more difficult and quite a bit more expensive. Talking to insurers, they said, you know, this is not something we were too concerned about before, but this is something that we are going to pay closer attention to. In the past, they were really concerned about wind damage, you know, obviously for being directly there on the coast and for storms. Now they said it's going to be a real mix of insurance that you're going to need to carry, and it's going to be much more expensive, and it's going to, again, price more and more people out.
Phil, it is going to be something to see how the real estate market changes there in Miami, and potentially even the skyline, right? I mean, it sounds like long-term could be a dramatic change. You're reporting really interesting. Thank you so much for coming on to talk with us.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.